Doing it through Google Meet. Now we can.
Rowan University is going to court. Women artists take the spotlight, and we'll tell you just how long these rainy conditions will last. All of this and more coming up on the Rowan Rundown. Hello and welcome. I'm Amanda Harvey. Rowan University filed a lawsuit against Factory Mutual Insurance Company, also known as FM Global, for losses due to campus closure during the pandemic. The claim states that the insurance company violated its all-risk policy when it made a blanket decision to deny all business income claims relating to COVID-19 losses. FM Global Insurance, 24 locations in the Garden State that are owned or operated by Rowan University. The claim does not specify a desired compensation amount for the alleged policy violation. The National Institute of General Medical Sciences, National Institute of Health, and the United States Department of Health and Human Services has given a $186,312 grant to the URISE program at Rowan. Congressman Norcross stated, quote, "Future scientific breakthroughs depend on our ability to train the next generation of research today," end quote. The URISE program helps encourage more diversity in biomedical science, and it helps the trainees become more prepared for the issues that arise. Susan Bush, who is the Vice Dean of Rowan's College of Science and Mathematics, stated, quote, "The URISE training grants provide an annual stipend to help students with their tuition and fees," end quote. Coming up, the latest news on Rowan's virtual graduation. We'll be right back.
Right here, baby. Look. Uma.
Noah. Something more than a birthday is happening here. Once you can see it, you can help. The sooner you recognize the signs of autism, the sooner you can make a lifetime of difference for your child. Start by answering a few simple questions at screenforautism.org.
As the COVID-19 vaccines become available, you might be asking yourself, should I get it? And if I do, will I be able to go about life without putting my family at risk? You've got questions, and that's normal. The fact is, the vaccines are safe and effective. They're going to save lives. To get the latest on the COVID-19 vaccines, visit getvaccineanswers.org, because getting back to the moments we miss starts with getting informed. It's up to you.
Website, Rowan University's spring graduation will be virtual again this year. This is the second virtual spring graduation in a row, due the it's not scrolling, the prompter.
It takes less than 1 minute to find out if you may have prediabetes. You can do it here. But I get it, you're busy, and busy people can't have prediabetes. I read that wrong. They can, okay? Just go to the site.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape.
It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Spending time outdoors has never felt more valuable. Whether it's exploring nature or relaxing in your yard, let's do it responsibly. Before going out, check for closures and fire restrictions. Practice social distancing, even when outside and on the trail. Back at home, if burning yard debris, keep your pile small. And no matter where you are, be sure to properly extinguish any outdoor fire. Drown, stir, drown, feel. We're all in this together. Help keep our safe places safe.
According to their website, Rowan University's spring graduation will be virtual again this year. This is the second virtual spring graduation in a row due to the prompter is not moving. According to their website, Rowan University's spring graduation will be virtual again this year. This is the second virtual spring graduation in a row due to the ongoing coronavirus pandemic. The ceremony will take place at 3 p.m. on May 8th, and it begins a week of graduation celebrations at the university. Small in-person commencement ceremonies will be held on campus from May 10th to the 14th. Now let's hear Sarah's opinion on how HERE F2 funds will help Rowan students.
All currently enrolled students with a valid Social Security number in need of emergency assistance can apply for the HEERF2 federal funding and receive up to $3,000. The Coronavirus Response and Relief Supplemental Appropriations Act will distribute the money through the university. To see if you are eligible for funding, go to the Bursar office website and go under the HEERF2 tab and apply. The form is based on a few factors such as housing security, food security, school supplies, and unemployment status. This will help a lot of students that are struggling during the COVID-19 pandemic. You can receive a check or direct deposit. It will take 21 days for your application to process. There's also an option for the funds to go towards your bill. The funds are first come, first served until all funds are dispersed.
This for Women's History Month.
As the COVID-19 vaccines become available, you might be asking yourself, should I get it? And if I do, will I be able to go about life without putting my family at risk? You've got questions, and that's normal. The fact is, the vaccines are safe and effective. They're going to save lives. To get the latest on the COVID-19 vaccines, visit getvaccineanswers.org, because getting back to the moments we miss starts with getting informed. It's up to you.
Honey, what I think you need is a socket wrench.
I played JV basketball.
I'm sorry. I don't think it looks right.
This is good, and it's all good, baby.
Is it really all good?
If you love me enough to routinely test your handyman skills, not to mention the strength of your marriage, then of course you'll visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat to make sure I'm in the right car seat.
I'm gonna call my dad.
Rowan University is Women's History Month is displayed 4 unique pieces of art at their art gallery. The featured pieces include the Sisters Chapel, which is made up 11 9-foot canvas that make up a heroic woman. She Speaks is a sound experience. I'm Speaking is a piece made up of quotes from powerful women, and the last piece is called For Bones We Rise, the Epitaphics, which uses science fiction and fantasy to reimagine the world in multiple dimensions. And now our special reporter Joelle sits down with Kayla Santiago. Joelle?
Thank you, Amanda. Hello and welcome to the special report. I'm Joelle Vasquez. Today I'm joined by Kayla Santiago, a sports communication and media major, and she's also a play-by-play radio broadcaster for the Delaware Bluecoats. Kayla, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, all right, let's get started. So you recently had a great opportunity to radio call the G League championship game between the Bluecoats and the Lakeland Magic, which I just have to tell everyone, that was the first ever G League championship game ever. So Kayla, what was going through your head?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of nerves, of course, because I've done so many games, but doing it on a big stage for both of the teams, it was their first ever championship. So of course, you want to have a good call. You don't want to have those nerves. You don't want to be shaky. I mean, I probably prepped for 5 hours just before that game. The prep work is a lot for these games. That's where really the grind and the work comes in. So I was really shaky in the beginning, but as soon as I got comfortable and I was like, you know, this is just another game. This is what I love to do. And then I kind of got into my groove. So it was an amazing experience. I'm very thankful I got to do it.
Yeah, so you mentioned kind of the preparation that goes into it. Can you go specifically on like what you do before like each game or like a big game like this one?
Yeah, absolutely. So of course you look at the stats for every single player. You kind of look at the postseason history, especially for a big game like this. So when was the last time they were there? Are there any players on either of these teams that have ever had championship experience, whether that's in college, or that's with another G League team or even an NBA team? The same with coaches. You kind of want to figure out their history, where they've been, what they've done throughout. And then you want to look up storylines as well, especially for this game. It kind of got out of hand as the Magic took a big lead. There, you don't necessarily want to do like okay, they're down 80-20 and they keep calling the game back and forth because people are going to get bored. You have to put some storylines in there. So for example, Paul Reed, he's a rookie. He was in the running for G League MVP, kind of talking about his season, what he's done, where he's came from. It takes a lot. And I think a lot of the times people just say, they just call a game, but I probably prep 5 hours before every game. And there was about 4 games a week for the Blue Coats. So that's 20 hours just in prep work.
Oh my goodness, Kayla. Well, I know this is probably not the first time you've heard this, but you are a female sports broadcaster. And unfortunately, we don't see a lot of women in this type of industry. So can you tell me what it's like to be a woman in a male-dominated industry?
Yeah, it's definitely interesting, especially in the play-by-play role. I mean, I only know one other person, who's Beth Mowens, who just got a job with the Chicago Cubs, that is a play-by-play broadcaster at the professional level. So, I walk into work every day and I work with 8 other people and they're all men. My boss is a man. And, for me, I don't really mind it because thankfully I'm in a situation where they all respect me very well. We work very well together. But definitely sometimes, when you walk in a room and you're the only woman, it's kind of like, whoa, I'm really here and there's nobody else. And not that nobody else is qualified. I think it's just, sometimes as women, we don't see ourselves in these positions because there's nobody above us that looks like us that is, if that makes sense. So you usually see, middle-aged men in this position. And for me to do it as a woman, I just hope that I can kind of inspire other people and that this industry has more women going forward.
Exactly. And Kayla, listen, I know you don't like to brag, so I'm going to brag for you. You've been getting a lot of attention this week. You were featured on 6 ABC. You just had an interview with KYW News Radio. How does it feel to finally be getting so much attention?
I mean, it's great. I want to use it kind of as this is just the beginning for me. I never want to think that, because I was featured, that's all it is. This is just the beginning. Now people know my name. I have to work 10 times harder because, I'm kind of out there a little bit. Not that I'm this big thing at all, but more people, have been reaching out to me to do stories and things like that. So that makes my work 10 times harder. I love that, I hopefully get to inspire people and that people see what I'm doing and want to do the same thing. But at the same time, it's been great. I mean, Jamie Apodi was absolutely fantastic. Mike Doherty as well on KYW was amazing. So I'm glad that they reached out to me and it was a fantastic opportunity.
Well, I know this will not be the last time we're going to be hearing the name Kayla Santiago. Kayla, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
All right, that was the special report. I'm Joel Vasquez. Now back to you, Amanda.
We're going to hand things over to Christine, who has the latest on Rowan Entertainment.
The Rowan University Art Gallery is now showing From Bones We Rise, The Empathics, an exhibit featuring the work of 41-year-old Japanese-American artist Sayo Woolfolk. She uses mixed media to create and tell the story of an advanced, futuristic society of an interspecies female race that makes viewers question their own society. Woolfolk draws her inspiration from her experiences as a Black and Asian New York City-based artist. The exhibit runs until May 1st in the gallery and requires pre-registration. Rowan Radio 89.7 WGLS-FM made great strides by winning 5 awards in the 19th Annual College Broadcasters Incorporated National Student Production Awards. This ceremony is an annual competition that recognizes among the best in student media, mostly around television and radio. Because of the pandemic, the show was held virtually. The Ride at 5, a program created by Sean Kelly, won first place in the Best Station Promo category. Rowan's Westby Hall celebrated Women's History Month by showcasing art installations depicting heroic women. 11 9-foot canvases create the Sister Chapel and feature audio recordings written and performed by student actors.
Amanda?
When will the rainy weather subside? This and more coming up.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Got a quarter?
Here's Katie with the latest on the Prof Spring sports season.
The Rowan University spring sports season is officially underway. The men's baseball team hosted Cabrini University at Rowan Baseball Field yesterday for their season opener. Pitcher Drew Ryback led the team to their win with their 6-1 win against the Cavaliers. Ryback pitched 6 scoreless innings and struck out 9 to give the Profs a great defensive advantage. The offense did the rest with center fielder Trent McCaffrey going for 5 for 2 with 2 RBIs and junior Ryan Murphy hitting the first home run of the Prof season. The team hosts Immaculata University tomorrow afternoon before leaving Glassboro for a 6-game road trip. The Profs women's softball team is well into their spring season with a 4-2 record going into their 7th game. The team hopes to advance their win streak from 2 games to 4 tomorrow. They host Muhlenberg College for a doubleheader tomorrow afternoon, weather permitting. The women's lacrosse team started their season off to a rocky start with a standing record of 0-2. They look to cut their negative record in half at home this Saturday as they host Kane University. That's all for your Rowan Sports News. Back to you at the desk.
Okay. Now let's take a look at this week's forecast with sunny skies this weekend. Sade with the weather.
Thank you, Nick. A slow-moving rainstorm that brought close to 2,000 tornadoes yesterday across the South and Gulf Coast states is now targeting portions of the New Jersey, Southeast, Mid-Atlantic, and Northeast with a dreary mix of heavy rainfall, damaging winds, and a large hail Thursday night. Cold air behind the storm will turn into rain and into snow for parts of the Mid-Atlantic on Friday as it exits the East Coast later that night. Saturday, we will feel and smell the spring flowers with a sunny day of 54 degrees. And Sunday will be free of rain and a high of 61. That is your weather report. Back to you, Nick. With a dreary mix of heavy. And into snow for parts of the Mid-Atlantic.
I don't know what I'm saying.
Just wrap up the show.
That's all for the Rowan Rundown. I'm Amanda Harvey. Have a great night.